Hi everyone, I'm Barbara Labe with Century 21 Affiliated. I'm based in our Appleton, Wisconsin office. I'm always here to help you whether you're buying or selling real estate or if you're planning to relocate across the country. I have services that can help you do all of these things. My information is on the bottom of this screen if you need to contact me. And if you have any questions with regard to the video that I am preparing and the information I'm sending out. Now, this information was given to me through my subscription to Inman, I-N-M-A-N. I subscribe to that magazine because it's a leading real estate industry magazine put out to real estate agents. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you today, because I found this most interesting, as the holidays come around, we are talking to many family members and friends, and some people are thinking about making the decision to relocate to a whole different area. There's a couple of items that people should think about before they make that decision. And do some research on the area that they're planning on moving to. Here are 13 things buyers need to consider before relocating across the country. 1, are you suffering from the grass is greener syndrome? There is the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side, but it is hard to mow sometimes. With people moving across the country to the beach, the mountains, the desert, buyers do need to do their research on those areas. Are you making a decision for that move based upon a vacationer's view of the area? Or have you spent enough time in that desired destination to fully understand the pros and cons of living in that area? 2, is there available inventory for rent or sale? Many times, with the housing market moving as fast as it is right now, you may have to check and make sure there's available rental properties, because if you sell your property in your home location and you're moving across the country, you may have to rent for a while you are having the availability to search out homes, make offers on homes. And as you know, with the low inventory, you may get rejected offers and have to continually move on to find that perfect home for you. The third item, how has the area's growth, infrastructure, and development changed? Now, many people are leaving the cities right now to go to a more suburban or small town atmosphere to live. Lots of new suburbs are being built, but there's a downside to that. These smaller cities and towns might not have the infrastructure set up to deal with that influx of new residents. There may be limited roadways that might become frustrating for you to move from point A to point B. Endless road construction that you may have to take and deal with. The little towns are cute and you've possibly dreamed of living there, but they might not feel so quaint once everything gets in full swing. 4, if you have children or you're planning on selling in the future, what is the state of the schools? When you move into an area that is being built up, they may not have the schools in place to accommodate the increase of student population. What you hear the day you buy and what happens in 2 to 3 years could be a totally different story. You need to talk to the school district if this is a concern of yours and get the scoop on what is happening now and what is happening in the future for the school system. Another item to think about, number 5, is the cost of living in that area. This could mean higher groceries. It could mean you're running your air conditioner more, or if you move to the Great North, It could mean you're running your furnace more. Will there be additional heating and cooling costs that you didn't take and budget for? If you're moving to Florida and you have a pool, what's the cost to run that pool filter 8 hours a day, the pool pump? And will that associate with higher electric bills? Of course it will. And don't forget, you're probably going to need a pool service to help you maintain that. In areas that have low water resources, it may be very costly to run items to take and keep your landscape green. Condominiums, if you're thinking to move to a condominium, those too often come with monthly fees that might be higher than you usually have expected, because they may provide the clubhouses, the pools, fitness centers, and all that costs money to maintain. So it's good to take a look at what your daily living costs are going to be. Are insurance costs higher? Whether it be your homeowners or your automobile insurance. So it's something to think about as you look at your daily and monthly budget for living in a certain area. How far? Number 6, how far will your money go? Speaking of costs, with real estate prices soaring right now in many markets across the country, buyers might have to spend more than anticipated to get what they want. Now, if you've been considering relocating to a new area for a while, you've likely watched prices skyrocket within the past 6 months and inventory levels drop. Your choices are going to be limited and multiple offers are common. Budget extra money or be willing to compromise for what you want to really get. Number 7, are medical services available? Now more than ever, access to medical service providers is critically important. Buyers need to take a deep dive into the availability of doctors, specialists, and other medical professionals that you may need to call upon. Make sure your insurance provider is going to cover those medical doctors, hospitals, treatment centers in the area that you're moving to. Number 8, what about contractors and service providers? Now, we know the availability of contractors gets very slim, especially at the end of the year when they're trying to wrap up their big jobs. However, if an area is doing a lot of building, it may be hard to get good contractors or even bad contractors to come in and do some work on your new property. And that's only because there's only so many work hours in a day. So you have to be realistic that you may not get people as fast as you may want them. There are only so many people, contractors, that do certain types of work. So choices will be limited for you. Number 9, are there job opportunities and remote work? One of the things in the Great North is we have an issue with we do not have high-speed internet everywhere, especially in Wisconsin. I live in an area that I can't get high-speed internet. I have to rely on satellite right now. And even though 2 miles away there's high-speed internet, I live in the country on a dead-end road, and there are only 3 homes, and it's not profitable enough for the service providers for high-speed internet to come down my road. My satellite is okay, but I spend a lot of money for it, so that's an increased cost. And many times now, employers are finding that workers that work remotely are signing on throughout the day and evening and working more hours. Their production is higher. If you're not working remote, you're going to have to look at the community to see if it provides good job opportunities. We don't all stay at the same job for the rest of our lives. We move around now. Number 10, how are state and local governments handling things? When times are good, it's easy not to pay as much attention to how local and state governments handle day-to-day issues. In our current climate, the pandemic, the election, economic challenges have highlighted the varied approaches in which municipalities handle situations. So take a look at that. See how they are handling and making decisions in the community so that your living in that community is satisfying for you. What are the taxes, fees, and gotchas that happen when you're purchasing in a different area? Every state has various costs, taxes, and other fees associated with living there. Explore those. Make sure you get a grip on how much it's going to cost you when you are moving into a state and even exiting that state. Some cities and counties have hefty transfer tax that they impose on people when real estate changes hands. And some states impose taxes on mortgages and the sale price. For example, in Wisconsin, we pay 0.003 cents per $1,000 of a sale of a real estate property. That expense goes to the seller. So be advised, check out the additional fees, homeowner associations, taxes that you may be paying when you're leaving an area and also when you're moving into an area. Number 12, are residents in the area you plan to move truly year-round, or is it a seasonal community? If you plan to relocate to a new destination with the intention of living there full-time, this is an important consideration. Some places that are seasonal, they have more dining, more activities going on in the good seasonal months that tourists are coming in. But they lock up after the holidays, January, February, March, and there's really not much to do. Are you going to be happy in that atmosphere? Amenities that you like to enjoy, restaurants, country clubs, fitness centers, social activities, do they become minute or nothing at all during the non-seasonal months? If you're planning on looking at an area that is a seasonal tourist area and you want to live there full time, I recommend you take and maybe go on vacation during an off season and spend a week or two there to see if there is enough activities for you and would you be happy living there during the off season. And many times, even if the grocery stores are open in that area, they may be limited hours because they don't have the business. Number 13, what are the time and costs involved with moving? The downside of the moving boom is it's difficult to book a moving company. And I have heard horror stories from past customers that have had to pay high exorbitant rates to move. Plus, they could not get the movers that they wanted. They ended up with inferior moving companies that really just didn't do the job right for them. Very frustrating for the seller when they're moving. So you need to contact various moving services to inquire well ahead of time, what is needed, get a quote. Be careful when you're researching these various movers because there are many suspect companies cropping up now and taking advantage of the consumer based upon this high demand for moving. Relocating to a new area is always a risk, but it can also be exciting too, a change of lifestyle. So please feel free to forward this on to any family member or friends that are planning to make this move across country or to a new destination in the state that might be a seasonal area. These are things that they need to think about. And as always, I can help with any relocating as well. We have a team in our relocation department that can find you a very good agent to help with your transaction. Thank you for watching. As always, stay safe and thank you for watching.